I made this bird table for my wife as a Christmas present. I'll show you how I made it. I live in the Canary Islands where wood is very hard to get and expensive, so I try and recycle wherever possible. I chose this redundant worktop to make the feeding platform from. This hardboard to make the roof. I was going to use this to make some trim, but changed my mind. This old drawer front I used to make the roof eaves. I cut this timber to make square stock for the roof pillars, and 2 pieces of this to make the base pole and the supports. I started by cutting out the feeding platform and the roof base. These are 34 centimetres square. Next I cut the roof panels from the hardboard. These are 40 centimetres by 30 centimetres. I cut the 2 roof eaves at 45 degrees and 34 centimetres at the base using the miter saw. Then I cut the poster length, which was 125 centimetres, which I thought would be the right height. I cut the 2 pieces at 40 centimetres that would form the base. With hindsight, these should have been a bit longer to make it more stable, although in my case I knew I was going to anchor it to the ground, so it wasn't an issue. If you want it to be freestanding, then I would make them a bit longer. I roughly measured how long I wanted the bracing pieces and cut a test one. The cuts were all at 45 degrees. I then had to cut 7 more the same. Next I cut the old timber to make some square stock to form the 4 roof pillars. When I actually test fitted these, I shortened them by about 5 centimetres, otherwise the roof would have just been too high. The next thing was to cut the dados in the feet to form a cross by cutting halfway through each. To assemble, first I mark the centre of the base to drill a hole for a screw. Then I glued and screwed them together. drilled and countersunk 2 holes in each brace. Each one was then glued and screwed in place. For the platform, I marked where the stand pole would go, then I drilled and countersunk 2 holes for fixing screws. I then fixed it in place. Next I fixed the braces in place as before. The next things to fit were the 4 roof supports, which I glued, and in pairs I used a clamp and a spare piece of wood to hold in place before adding the screw from below. The clamps were left in place until the glue had dried. I cut some strips on the table saw to use as trim around the feeding platform, and they also acted as a lip to stop the bird food being blown off by the wind. These were mited, but as with every mite I've ever tried, they don't fit too well. First I drilled a hole as access to the bird nesting section in the eaves, and then a small hole to push a bell through as a perch. I discovered I didn't have a small enough dowel, so I used a small twig from a tree, which I guess makes it more rustic. Next I glued and screwed the 2 eaves to the base. Before I fitted the roof, I decided to wood stain the entire bird table, as that made access easier. The next job was to fit the roof to the roof pillars using glue and a screw. I fitted the two roof panels by gluing and using small panel pin nails. The last job was to fit some roofing felt I had left over from building my workshop. I attached this using a non-setting glue and some staples. And that was it. The birds seemed to like it, and so, fortunately, did my wife. Thanks for watching.